Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, are we ready?
We are.
Okay, I like that. So then let's start by saying this. Somebody's hurting our people.
Somebody's hurting our people.
Somebody's hurting Rhode Island.
Somebody's hurting Rhode Island.
Public Utility Commission might be hurting Rhode Island.
Public Utility Commission might be hurting.
And it's going on far too long.
It's going on far too long.
Good morning. My name is Pastor Carl Jefferson, pastor of Life Change Christian Church here in Providence, Rhode Island, and I'm part of the Poor People's Campaign of Rhode Island, a national call for moral revival. And we stand with the millions around this country to call for moral revival. And today we stand with Camilo and the George Wiley Center and those thousands who will be impacted by the potential rate hike, and with a host of community leaders, clergy here today. And so today, pre-COVID, we want to make it known that 36% of people in Rhode Island are poor or low income. A total of 368,000 residents, which includes 47% of children, 99,000, 40% of women, 213,000, 64% black, 69% Latino, and 29% white. This problem includes everybody, and it's gone on far too long. Just in Rhode Island alone, for a single parent, maybe even a two-parent household, it takes 79 hours of work per week to afford a two-bedroom apartment. So our purpose today is to remind the Public Utility Commission of the impact that if the rates arise, that thousands of families and small businesses will feel the effect. So we come from all backgrounds with many struggles. We come as different movements, and we know what it is like to be oppressed and have to deal with the issues that others put on us. So we stand here to sound the alarm, to say to the commissioners of the Public Utility Commission to have the power to do the right thing and to stop the rate hikes. And we are here to encourage them that they have the power today to do good and to work for good. We are here to remind the Public Utility Commission that they have a moral responsibility, just like those across the Atlantic that we've seen in the UK, where the rates are even higher, but they are working on an 18-month freeze on rate increases. So if their leaders can do that, then so can we. We are here to let the Public Utility Commission know that they could be potentially hurting children, that they could potentially be hurting the elderly, that they could be potentially causing death to rise within our state. And so, Public Commission, we are here to remind you that if you consider raising the cost of utilities during an economic crisis without considering the effects that it will have on children and the elderly of those who live in Rhode Island, that you are morally doing something wrong. No family or elder should be forced to choose to pay rent or to eat, to pay electricity or to stay warm. No one should be forced to heat their homes by any other means over the winter, which can cause unnecessary loss of life due to fire or literally freezing to death. Somebody's hurting our people, and it's gone on far too long. Rhode Island Utility Commission, we're here to let you know that it is immoral to hurt the children and the elderly of Rhode Island. Immoral. And so we stand here as clergy, and we are here to declare, like the prophet Amos, to those who have the authority to make changes. God said to Amos, tell show those in authority that you in authority hate judges and honest witnesses, but you abuse the poor and demand heavy taxes from them while you build expensive homes, but you won't enjoy them, God says. For you cheat honest people and take bribes, and you rob the poor of justice. Somebody's hurting our people, and it's gone on far too long. So we stand and implore that the Public Utility Commission not repeat history as we have seen in biblical times. We will not. Can you say we will not?
We will not.
We must not.
We must not.
We cannot.
We cannot.
We won't.
We won't
Be silent.
be silent
Anymore.
anymore.
Therefore, we cannot stand by and watch the Public Utility Commission vote to increase rates and allow people to be pushed out of their homes due to the inability to pay their rent, or vote to increase rates and make people face foreclosure. We cannot, can you say cannot?
Cannot.
Stand by and watch you vote to increase rates and cause thousands of unfair shutoffs during the winter. Can you say we will not?
We will not.
Stand by and watch the commission vote to increase rates and cause people to lose their housing. Can you say we must not?
We must not.
Stand by and watch votes for them to vote to increase and cause homelessness where there's already a high rise of homelessness. We cannot.
We cannot.
Stand by and watch you vote to increase rates and cause death on the streets of Rhode Island. We must not.
We must not.
Stand by and watch you vote to increase and cause people literally to freeze to death. We will not.
We will not.
Stand by and watch you vote to increase and allow you to commit social murder. We must not.
We must not.
Stand by and watch you vote to increase rates and cause children to be taken away from their families because they'll have no heat to warm their homes over the winter. We will not.
We will not.
Stand by and watch you vote to increase rates and cause students to be unable to study. We cannot.
We cannot.
We cannot.
We cannot.
Allow working families to have to choose between food, rent, or heat, or light. We cannot and we will not.
We will not.
Stand by and allow you to vote to increase rates and cause seniors to have to choose between medication or heating their homes. We will not.
We will not.
Stand by and allow you to vote to increase rates and allow you to push more people from their homes to emergency rooms and push more people into nursing homes. We demand that the Public Utility Commission refuse the rates and increase and choose people over profits. Can you say that with me? People over profits. Say it like you mean it.
People over profit.
Say it like you want change.
People over profit.
Say it like we decree it.
People over profit.
Say it like you demand it.
People over
Say
profit.
it like you know it's going to happen.
People over profit.
And so we stand here today, clergy, community leaders, civic leaders, black, white, Hispanic, of all nations, of all creeds, of all nationalities, of all religions, to say that in Rhode Island we reject increases and we demand, this is our demand, to cut Rhode Island energy profits from 10% to 6%.
That's right.
We demand, can you say we demand?
We demand
That the Public Utility Commission conduct a social impact statement before they consider taking any vote. We demand that you hold hearings across the state in every language for everyone to understand in their own language. We demand that you work to pass the percentage income payment plan. We demand. Better yet, We demand that you just take it off the docket altogether. Can you say with me, take it off the docket?
Take it off the docket.
Take it off the docket.
Take it off the docket.
docket.
Take it off the docket.
Say it again.
Take it off the docket.
Say it like you mean it.
Take it off the docket.
But somebody said to me that if you take it off the docket, lives will be saved.
That's right.
Lives will be saved.
Children will be able to study.
Children will be
People will have heat in their home.
Right.
People will see a decrease rather than an increase. Drop the docket. Let's be for the people, not profit before the people.
That's right.
So, Public Utility Commission, you have a moral obligation to do what is right. To do what is right. Because somebody could literally, this commission could literally be hurting our people, hurting our children, hurting our elderly, hurting where we're already hurting. And it's gone on far too long. So today, we're going to hear from religious leaders within the state of Rhode Island who hears the stories of families, who sees the breakdown in homes, who sees children being taken away because of the lack that we already have in this state. So today, religious leaders will share, community leaders will share, and those that have been impacted will share within their respective communities. And we will hear from those who already have been impacted by this unjust situation. So today, we'll have our first speaker to come. If she is here, Ruth Diamond Madsen from Pawtucket. Are you here?
She's not here.
Not here. Alexandria Gonzalez. Reverend Alex. Okay. I have Reverend Jenkins to come. And then Alexandria. Thank you, Reverend Jenkins from the Rhode Island Ministerial Alliance. He will come in this time.
Good morning. Good morning. I am Pastor Howard M. Jenkins Jr. I stand here today united with George Wiley Center and the Rhode Island Poor People's Campaign, speaking on behalf of the voiceless and representing the marginalized. Rhode Islanders cannot afford an increase in their electric or gas bill, and definitely is not in agreement with any discussion for potential proposed rate hike of any type of increase in utilities. It is no secret that fundamental problem is an insufficient living wage, the cost burden incurred, and rent rising faster than renters' income over the last 2 decades.
Yes.
Government guidelines suggest households should not spend more than 30% of their income on either rent or mortgage payments. However, the rise in rental costs and first home purchases exceed that percentage, creating problems for families and single individuals maintaining and obtaining affordable housing, which results in folks struggling to pay their rent and mortgage to make ends meet. It is well documented that the 2020 U.S. Census indicates approximately 52% of renters and homeowners had high housing cost burdens regarding food, child care, health, housing, transportation, civic engagement, and broadband services. The government standardizes household spending not to exceed 30% of its pre-tax income on housing is not realistic. And now to add a rate hike of an increase in utilities is utterly ridiculous. The parable of the persistent widow comes to mind for me, coming out of the Gospel of Luke chapter 18, verse 1 through 8. A poor, powerless person who persists in nagging a powerful judge to do justice for her. Today we speak for those making this decision of a rate hike increase, those who hold a position of power and leadership. You are obligated to work justly, especially for the poor, the weak, and the marginalized. Reconsider your discussion and this decision. George Wiley Center, the Rhode Island Poor People's Campaign, myself, Pastor Howard Jenkins, and all those that are gathered here today stand together saying no. No rate hike. No discussion about an increase in utilities.
No discussion.
The bottom line is we say no. No. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Jenkins. At this time, we're going to have David Valise come from the Rhode Island Interfaith Coalition.
Okay.
How do I follow that? I just want to thank everyone for being here today. I'm the director of the Rhode Island Interfaith Coalition to Reduce Poverty, a coalition of faith leaders from all different faiths all throughout Rhode Island that believe that we have a moral imperative to fight inequality and poverty and systematic racism in Rhode Island. I'm sorry, I am thrown by the powerful words that we just heard, and I just kind of want to say this doesn't end here for us. There are advocates here, and thank you to all the representatives that I see in the crowd, elected officials who have come out to support. When the session starts in January, we need to make sure that we continue the pressure to pass the percentage income payment plan. Yes. So if you have a chance, go to George Wiley Center.org, correct? Find out how you can get involved so that we can start trying to pass that legislation in January. And I'll leave you with this quote, which is one of my favorite quotes. Dr. Martin Luther King said once that if we truly, as people of faith, believe that the Spirit of God is everywhere and in every body, then we must fight to protect that in every person. And that is why we are here, to speak for those who cannot speak for themselves, to raise awareness that our people are suffering, and to make change. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, David. This is about a humanity thing. And so we're going to have State Representative David Morales to come at this time to share from that point of view.
Now, brothers, sisters, and non-binary family, I want to remind us all how it is that we got here. 5 months ago, Rhode Island Energy was in the process of purchasing the assets of National Grid to take over our utility system. And throughout the countless hearings at the Public Utilities Commission, they continuously reassured the public that this transaction was going to be beneficial to Rhode Islanders. They guaranteed us better customer service, and most importantly, controlled costs when it came to electricity and natural gas rates. And sure enough, the PUC rubber stamped their proposal to essentially buy, purchase, and now control our public utility system, which they purchased from National Grid for $4 billion. How many people here have a net worth of $4 billion? Much less $1 billion. But the matter of the fact is, Rhode Island Energy lied. They lied to the public.
That's right.
They said that this would be beneficial to the Rhode Islanders, the working people of our state. But instead, what has happened is less than half a year of taking control of our utility system, they are putting forward record level rate hike proposals for electricity services. 47%, which then translates to an increase of about $52 for a working family in regards to their electricity bill. And next month, they're coming back with a 15% proposal to increase for natural gas services. And so I say shame to Rhode Island Energy. Shame to lying in regards to the services that you would provide our people. And the worst part about it all is that they're trying to hide behind the crisis happening in Ukraine as to why they need to increase energy costs. What the George Wiley Center and the coalition of community activists and advocates have said instead is, no, Rhode Island Energy, you eat the costs. If energy prices are increasing We demand
We demand.
We demand
that you absorb some of the direct costs yourselves and ensure that you're not putting forward any form of rate increase, much less one that is 47%. But sure enough, we made that demand to Rhode Island Energy. And what did they do? They didn't respond at all. Whether it was from the media, whether it was from the George Wiley Center, whether it was from Rhode Island Energy customers, they refused to even entertain that idea. And that is why we're here today, because now we're in a position where we have to depend on the Public Utilities Commission to act in the interest of the public, which is what they should always be doing, given that it's in the Commission's name. The Public Utilities Commission, not the Corporate Utilities Commission. So with that, I say, Rhode Island Energy, stop the greed.
Stop the greed.
Stop the greed. Stop the greed. And to the PUC, you've had months to hear from working people across our state about how they're going to suffer if their utilities increase by 47%. And this isn't theatrics. This is real life. People are going to find themselves in a position where they will not be able to afford their rent, where they will be evicted, or they're forced to be in a position where they enroll in a quote-unquote payment plan and they're stuck in debt for the next 10 years. This is not sustainable. Our people deserve better. We deserve the basic human rights of being able to access electricity and natural gas without having to worry about how much more it's going to cost. And so with that, I say thank you to everyone who has taken the time to show up week after week, who has taken the time to submit a written letter of testimony. That way, the members of the PUC, who quite frankly don't look like a lot of us and have a much more different income level than us, can actually understand about the impact this will have. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. At this time, we're going to hear from Alexandria Gonzalez from the George Wiley Center.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to start off with the scripture from Malachi 3:4-6. Then shall the offering of Judah and Jerusalem be pleasant to the Lord in the days of old, as in the former years. And I will come near unto you in judgment, and I will be swift witness against the sorcerers, and against the adulterers, and against the false swearers, and against those who oppress our hireling in his wages, and the widow and the fatherless, and turn aside stranger from his right. Fear not me, saith the Lord of hosts, for I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore these sons of Jacob are not consumed. This is ridiculous, right? At the end of the day, we have a large majority of a homeless community. We have people that are being pushed out of neighborhoods. Let's talk about the fact that there's no bank on Broad, Elmwood, or Cranston Street. And the Public Utilities Commission is on Jefferson Boulevard. But the majority of people it serves ain't even, this is an industrial corridor, as far as I'm concerned. Right? So what is really going on? It's their interest, not ours. A few years ago, they were audited, and they were caught invoicing and under-invoicing over $4 million. We need to demand that this stops now, because we're going to suffer. Our kids aren't going to make it to school because the parents ain't going to be able to pay their bills. DCYF will take their children. We cannot have this. I believe in God, and that God will allow for this to happen. So we need to demand it in the name of Jesus. We need to tell them that we will not stand, and we are great in numbers. So let's continue to do this and not give up or walk away. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alexander.
Can we say somebody's been hurting our people? Somebody's been hurting our people. And it's gone on far too long. At this time, we're going to hear from Pamela Ponatowski from the Poor People's Campaign as she comes at this time.
Thank you. I am from the Poor People's Campaign, a national call for moral revival. That is exactly what we are looking for here and now. I do not think that the people in this room behind us understand what kind of domino effect is going to take place if this rate hike goes into effect, because they actually said that on Monday.
That's right.
They looked at it and said, I've never had to deal with this. And I'm like, I have. I know exactly what happens. If you budget, so much for my notes. If you budget, if you're on a budget plan, which thank God for the budget plans, right? But if you're on it, it's like having a credit card. And what happens with a credit card? Every dollar you spend is $5 that you're going to have to pay, right? So you are on the budget plan. They push off what you're actually going to have to pay, but it's not like it goes away. It's like you get it at the end of the year. So you started with a budget plan of maybe $150 a month, right? And you're trying to make that. And that's difficult anyway. And then you get to the end of the heating season or whatever it is, and you've got a $600 bill to pay. And the only way that you have the money to pay for that is if you happen to win the lottery. How many of us win the lottery on any kind of budgeting, where we can budget our money? We don't. So this is immoral. It's inhumane. And because the people in power do not have people like us, like the people that are standing here, because they are not at the table. They do not have any lived experience, and they do not understand what's going on. And that has got to stop.
Gotta stop.
So, somebody's hurting our people,
And it's gone on far too long.
and we won't be silent anymore. Oh, really? I can do that right now? Okay, good. Will you all work with me here?
Yes.
Okay. Rise up, we're gonna rise up.
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 Ain't gonna let nobody turn us around.
Ain't gonna let nobody turn us around.
Because the people united will stand our ground.
Cause the people united will stand our ground.
Rise up, we're gonna rise up.
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 Ain't nobody gonna turn us around.
Ain't nobody gonna turn us around.
Because the people united will stand our ground.
Because the people united will stand our ground.
Thank God for all of you here.
Yes, come on, put your hands together. It's time to rise up, Rhode Island. It's time to make our voices heard. It's time for us to represent and say we will not stand for this violence towards our community any longer. It is inhumane and it is immoral. All right, we're going to have one more speaker. Is that correct? Brother Doran James from the George Wiley Center. Come on, put it together. Come on.
I'm very happy to be here for everybody. I'm very happy to be here. I am a single parent. I have a 15-year-old girl and a 9-year-old boy. I just got the bill into about a month ago. One bill says $5,000, another bill says another $5,000. How in the hell 1 month comes to $5,000? Where am I going to get that type of money when I'm paying $1,300 a month on my rent? And that's a rental property. Then I got the heat, electric. Where am I going to be putting food on my table for my children? I have grandchildren. The age I'm not going to give away because you won't believe. I am a single parent raising a 15-year-old and a 9-year-old child at 69 years old. I'm damn near hitting 70. I got to go and work for what? I don't need to work. I did my job. Now, while they do their job,
Yes.
because I have to have my children to learn something that they have no clue. They don't know nothing but their academics. I'm teaching them their academics. What they know about me paying my electric bill, my gas bill, the rent. They only children. They children. They children. What do we do to tell our children? How we know what these people are doing behind our back? We don't. That's why we're here today to speak on what they doing behind closed doors and walls. How are we going to live with this? How am I going to teach my children what these people are doing? They have no clue. So I'm asking all of us, do not allow them to go any further. Stop the political bull that they are doing to all of us, not one individual. All of us are playing with our lives. We cannot allow them to play a political game with our lives. No more. No more. No more. This world is for our children. We need to teach our children what they're about. This is today. Today is not tomorrow. This is a new beginning of the end of what we are going through. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing, my brother. Debbie from Warren, come at this time.
Oh, that's it. Sorry. Hello. My name is Debbie Krause. I live in Warren, Rhode Island, and I used to live in Tuisset Point for about 37 years. Out there in the boondocks, literally 7 minutes from Route 103, a state road, we lost power frequently. And far too often, we lost it for a week or more at a time. Now, I'm told that you want a 46% rate hike when we already have the highest rates in the country.
Hold on.
Frankly, it is my opinion that you should be tarred and feathered and thrown out of our state. You know, I am so tired of being robbed by the utility companies and by the PUC, who consistently just rubber stamps whatever raises they want, with no thought at all about the consumer, who has to continue to pay these exorbitant rates and the lack of decent service that we receive as the consumer. I cannot count how many times when we lost the electricity, I lost the entire content of my freezer and my refrigerator freezer because we lost the electricity for days on end or even weeks. I'm talking about multiple hundreds of dollars of food lost each and every time we lost the power. Remember, I was 7 minutes from the main road. That was the boondocks, okay? All because of the electric company's lousy service. And that's with the highest rates in the country. With those kind of rates, we should have the best service, not the worst. But I got no money back from any time that this happened. And believe me, it happened a lot. Now, I had insurance, but it had a $500 deductible. So what the hell? I'd fill out a form and get the insurance, and then they raise my insurance rates, or they drop me completely. All right? So let's be real here. I got nothing back every single time. I was a single working woman. I'm retired now. And every time that happened, those hits hurt. They hurt bad. And now you want a 40% rate hike? Well, I say no. You may not have it. You provide decent service first. You do your job right first. Because I'm no longer interested in any excuses. I lost a freezer full of food once while you and the town of Warren fought over who was responsible for the damn line that went down. For a week, you fought while our food rotted inside of our refrigerators and our freezers.
Right.
Did any one of you ever stop to think first that you fix it and then figure out who's responsible? That freezer of food was over $500 that one time. And it happened to me. How many others did it happen to? This was in the town of Warren, Rhode Island, the smallest town in the smallest county in the smallest state in the United States. And by the way, that was only my standing freezer. It didn't count the refrigerator and the freezer that's attached to it, where I lost everything there too. And it happened every single time. Multiply it. $500 plus every single time. How about you pay me back first? How about that? And how about the time I called for 2 years after speaking to some National Grid servicemen there already? They were cutting limbs that interfered with the lines literally 2 houses down the street from me. So I pointed out a tree across the street from my house consistently made the lights flicker and go out with every good wind. They told me that they needed a work order to trim the tree, which they admitted was a problem. 2 years later, and after how many calls God only knows, because I lost count, but by then it still had not been done. And by then I had moved. Now it's somebody else's problem. My guess is it's still a problem. So to hell with your rate increase.
Yes.
The answer is no.
No.
No. The answer is no.
No.
And I don't care if it's 1% or 47% that you want. Come on, folks. You have lost the goodwill of the people. So how about this? For now, why don't you go without, like we have had to go without for so long? I'm sorry.
We say no.
Like we've had to do without for so long. Because frankly, we're mad. And we're not going to take it anymore. Say it.
I'm going to take it anymore.
My name is Debbie Krause, and I live in Warren, Rhode Island. I am one fed up customer, and there are thousands just like me.
That's why it's time to take it off the docket. 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 Take it off the docket.
Take it off the
And
docket.
if you don't take it off the docket, then children will come to PUC to show you that they need it off the docket. If you don't take it off the docket, the one that needs electricity for oxygen will be at PUC to say, take it off the docket. If you don't take it off the docket, maybe a hers that a clergy person has to do for somebody that froze to death will come to PUC to understand why you have to take it off the docket. Thank you all for coming. We're going to have Peter come at this time from Poor People's Campaign. As we close, I'll say this as a clergy person. For the Lord even said in his prayer, lead us not into temptation, but PUC, deliver us from evil. Put your hands together for Peter.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
There will be no vote
There will be no vote
on rate hikes.
on rate hikes.
Join us inside. Today, we will use our voices. We will use our bodies. No vote on rate hikes. Join us. Disrupt them if we have to. We won't be silent. Not during this meeting. Thank you.
We just want to thank Camilo organizing this from the George Wiley Center. If you have not, if we don't know you, please let us get to know you. Send an email, let them know your organization or who you are, where you're from. We need all the help we can get at this time for those who desire to go in to be disruptors, for your voice to be heard. Let's go in and make an impact that today they will take it off the docket. Hey, thank you.
Do we just go in?
Yeah, Secretary's just double checking that they're set.
Oh, it's warm in here. I was gonna say, take it off the docket, get out of